boils down to this, folks. One game to rule it all for Bayer Leverkusen. Will they go the distance and become unbeaten invincibles in the Bundesliga? They've just got one game left. Can they remain unbeaten? We're going to take a little look. And next. Today we take a look at matchday number 34, that's right, over in the Bundesliga, and we'll get to it in a second. If you're new, where you've been, smash your subscribe button. Your one-stop shop for Bundesliga is right here under one roof. Of course, we're coming at you with the final game of the season. We already know who's, of course, champions, and of course we already know who's going to join Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League next season. What we don't know is what's going to go on down the foot of the table. Of course, Köln, Union Berlin, Mainz, Bochum are still in the mixer for relegation at the moment, and of course should all be resolved at the end of this game. There will be a playoff game down the foot, and Union Berlin could be in that when we come back around for those games. Of course, we'll get into it in a minute. Big shout out to the VIPs. They are the patrons. You know who you are. And again, if you're new, smash your subscribe, boys and girls. So here we go, recapping the results last weekend, and here they are. Stuttgart continuing to do what they did. They got a right old chance here to get into second spot with a 1-0 win over Augsburg, 2-0 winners in my eyes. Union Berlin, though, 3-2 loss to Köln. Union Berlin could be back down to the Zweite tier here if they were to shit the bed here. Meanwhile, Gladbach with a 1-1 draw against Frankfurt. Of course, not a good season for Gladbach, done the same. Leipzig with a draw, slipped up opportunity there, but they will remain in fourth spot. They cannot be caught, and they cannot go above that either. So 1-1 draw in the end against Werder Bremen. Freiburg with a draw against Heidenheim. Heidenheim will also be back next season. Mainz with a 3-0 demolition job of Dortmund. Of course, we'll have a look at what that's done to the table. Hoffenheim with a 6-0 win over Darmstadt. They're also they're down and out. Will not be back next season. Bayern with a 2-0 win over Wolfsburg, and Bayer Leverkusen with that 5-0 win over Bochum, of course. So that's the situation we find ourselves at the moment. But the table looks like this, as you see it. Mainz are out of the drop zone at the moment, but of course they have got one more game to make sure that they remain in the division. None the same. As you can see, the top 4 or 5. They will be playing Champions League football next season. Of course, Leverkusen in the Europa League final as well. As are Dortmund in the Champions League as well in the final. So good performance by the German teams in the European competitions this season, but Darmstadt are going down. They're down. Köln are playing for snookers here. Realistically, their best hope for is a 16th place finish, which would be a playoff relegation match, but that's currently occupied by Union Berlin, who have to win or better the result of Mainz. It's a lot of snookers, a lot of stuff to be had, but of course, what about the Super Brew? Well, we have one more week left, I believe, for the Super Brew, and we're going to have a little look at the situation in the Bundesliga just in one moment's time as I fire it up and have a little look at it ourselves. So here we go then. Of course, it is as it looks. Vinny Hong with 11.5 points this past week. Vindaloo Victory with 10. James Blues FC with 10 as well. If you see a name in there, please smash your like. Frosty there with 3.5, not great. But the overall leaderboard is Xandus at the moment with an impressive 283 points and a half points, really. Just 2 points clear of Costas K. Summer 2018. A little bit out of it now. It does look like it's going to be mission impossible for summer 2018. Can anyone catch the top 2? Well, we're going to have to find out in the final week. There is a race on our hands. If you do see a name in there, please smash your like, smash your subscribe. We'll be back again, we hope, next season for some more Super Brew action in the Bundesliga. So that's the situation there. We've seen the table, but now let's, of course, look forward to that final game in the Bundesliga, and that is these games coming at you right here right now. We're going to start at the top of the shop here. It is all games kicking off at the same time, which is what we like. So no shenanigans being played over in the Bundesliga. We're going to start with Hoffenheim up against Bayern München, of course, coming at you over at the Rhein-Neckar Arena. Played each other 33 times since 2008. 4 wins for Hoffenheim, 22 wins for Bayern, 7 draws, of course, Bayern, boasting 58% form for them at the moment. Just 1 win in the last 4. Of course, they did not make the Champions League final, but they are second, and they not necessarily were going to remain second. They need to win this game to keep the likes of keep Stuttgart at bay. Meanwhile, Hoffenheim coming in is on 58% form for them. Also just one defeat in the last form. They are 43 points for the season. Last time around in Hoffenheim, though, was a 2-0 win for Bayern back in October 2022. The reverse fixture at the Allianz Arena back in January was a 3-0 win for Bayern. And of course, you've got to go all the way back to 2020 for Hoffenheim's last victory against Bayern. It was a 4-1 win back in September 2020. Am I going to see something like this time around? I don't think so, of course. It's going to be Hoffenheim 12-5, the bookies for them. 5-4 on is your Bayern. They want that second spot. 50-4, of course, is the draw. Bayern will win this one. 3-0 win, goals galore, and remain in second spot. And of course, we'll try to come back again next season. But who will be the governor at Bayern? I have no clue. I'm absolutely dumbfounded as to why they are struggling to find a manager for this job. Anyway, Frankfurt up against Leipzig. Let's get into this one then. Coming at the Deutsche Bank Park. Played each other 17 times since 2017. There's been 5 wins apiece and there's been 7 draws. Frankfurt, though, 6th in the table right now. Dino Topmüller's done a fantastic job for Frankie. Just 1 win, though, in the last 6 games. Bit of form at the moment. That's kind of derailed their season. Leipzig, on the flip side, also coming into this on back-to-back draws. However, unbeaten in at least the last 6 games. Marco Rosa done a fantastic job for Leipzig, and they're going to finish in 4th in the table as well. Last time around, over at Frankie, it was a 4-0 win for Frankfurt back in September 2022. The reverse fixture over in Leipzig was a 1-0 win for Frankie as well back in January 2024. The odds for this one, though, 11-5 is your Frankfurt, 11-4 is the draw, 11-10 is your Leipzig, who are favoured to win this one. I've gone to go with a 2-1 win for Leipzig. Frankfurt have done great, but they think they want the season to be done with, and of course to regroup and go again. Meanwhile, Union Berlin up against Freiburg. What a game to end their campaign. Is absolutely terrible. Of course, they started in the Champions League this season, and now they're on the brink of collapsing into the Bundesliga 2. 16 times they have played each other since 2002. 7 wins for Union Berlin, 5 wins for Freiburg. There's been 4 draws, of course. Union Berlin haven't got a win in at least the last 6 games. They're 16th right now, 30 points for the season against the Freiburg side. Fortunately for Berlin, haven't won in the last 4 games. They have drawn a few, but they are looking for a win. They are 8th in the table, 42 points for the season. Last time around, though, over at the Anne Alstendal Alten Forsterei, it was a 4-2 win for Union Berlin back in May 2023. The reverse fixture in Freiburg, a 0-0 draw way back in January this campaign. So 11-10 is your Union Berlin, 23-10 is your Freiburg, 5-2 is the draw. Union Berlin are favoured for the victory here. I think it's going to be a point, and I'm not sure if that's good enough for survival, or at least to avoid that relegation playoff spot. We'll see in a moment, of course. We've got Wolfsburg against Mainz, also in that bracket for that playoff spot, and it's not a good playoff spot, so they need to better that result of Union Berlin in my eyes. Wolfsburg under Hasenhüttl up against Mainz, of course, Bo Henriksen. Played each other 43 times since 1993. We've got 19 wins for Wolfsburg, 9 wins for Mainz, 15 draws, of course. Wolfsburg under Hasenhüttl have actually picked up 3 wins at the last 4 games. They finished in around mid-table here, 12th for the table, 37 points for the season against a Mainz side who realistically really kicked into gear here, as of course when needs must. They've unbeaten in at least the last 6 games, picking up 3 wins and 3 draws over the last 6. Last time around, though, over in Wolfsburg, it was a 3-0 win for Wolfsburg, who are unbeaten against Mainz over the last 4 occasions, picking up 3 wins and 1 draw, which was the reverse fixture in Mainz back in January. In fact, they've just conceded 1 goal against Mainz over the last 3, scoring 12 goals in the last 4 games combined, averaging 3 a game, have Wolfsburg. But the odds for this one, 2-1 is your Wolfsburg, 5-4 is your Mainz, who need this result, and 5-2 is the draw. I'm going to go with a surprise here, 2-1 win for Wolfsburg, which I think puts Mainz in a bit of bother in the end of the season campaign. Could it be even worse, though? Could it even be worse? We'll see in a minute. Stuttgart, though, up against my boys, Mönchengladbach, who again have had a really shit season and want to get this over and done with. Of course, Stuttgart, managed by Sebastian Hörsness, up against Gerardo Söhne of Switzerland. Played each other 56 times since 1992. 25 wins for Stuttgart, 15 wins for Gladbach, 16 draws. Of course, just 1 defeat in the last 6 for Stuttgart. 75% form for them right now. They are 3rd, and they're trying to get into that 2nd spot, but they have to better Bayern's result, and I don't see that happening at the moment. Gladbach, though, they're all the way down to 13th at the moment. 34 points for the season, 42% form for them right now. Unbeaten, though, in the last 3 games. They have been drawing games and not winning them. Winless in 5. Last time around, though, over at Stuttgart was a 2-1 win for Stuttgart back in April 2023. The reverse fixture at Gladbach was a 3-1 win for Mönchengladbach. Of course, the home side has not lost this game in the last 5 matches. Of course, the last time the away side picked up a win, that's when Stuttgart beat Gladbach in Gladbach back in May 2021. But the bookies on this one go in favour of Stuttgart. 10-3 on for the victory. 5-1 is your draw. 7-1 is your long shots. Unfortunately, I cannot see anything but a Stuttgart victory here. They're going to push for that 2nd spot, but they're going to come short in my eyes. guys, with my maths. Meanwhile, Heidenheim, who will be back in the Bundesliga next season, up against Köln, who are scrapping for their lives. Played each other 3 times in 2018. Nothing for Heidenheim, 1 win for Köln, 2 draws so far. Heidenheim rocking a 58% form for them at the moment. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. They are 9th, comfortably done into that top end of the table. Meanwhile, Köln unbeaten though in the last 3 games, just 1 win though in the last 5. Ain't great, 50% form for them. Heading into this one, 17th for the table, 27 points for the season as well. Last time around, though, over at Heidenheim, it was a 2-0 win for Köln back in April 2019. That was in the Zweite Tier. Of course, the reverse fixture in Köln back in January, it was a 1-1 draw back at match day number 17. But the bookies for this one, we're looking at Heidenheim coming at you at 13-8 for the victory. 13-10 is your Köln. Slight favourite here. 3-1 is the draw. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. And again, get your calculators out, guys. I don't think it's going to be good enough for Köln at the moment. Mainz losing. Köln picking up a point. Union Berlin picking up a point. It just doesn't look good at the moment. Let's kick it off forward with Werder Bremen. They're up against Bochum, who are, of course, seem to be safe right now. Of course, Bremen also safe in 11th spot. Now, these two sides will meet at the Wasserstadion. They have played 29 times since 1992. 20 wins for Bremen, 4 wins for Bochum, 5 draws, of course. Just 1 defeat though in the last 6 games for Bremen. 58% form for them over the last 6. Bochum on 42% form for them right now, picking up a couple of wins out of the last 6 games as well. Last time around, over at Bremen, it was a 3-0 win for Bremen back in February 2023. The reverse fixture at Bochum back in January was a 1-1 draw. Of course, Bremen are unbeaten against Bochum over the last 6, pick up 5 wins and 1 draw. They're looking to extend that in this game. 7-5 is your Bremen, 13-5 is your draw, 17-10 is your Bochum. It's going to be a home win once again. Bremen taking the 3 points. Bochum will be happy to be back next season. And of course, we'll continue where we left off next time around. Meanwhile, Bayer Leverkusen, here it is, guys. It all boils down to this, taking on Augsburg, of course, at the Bay Arena. What a season it's been for Leverkusen. What a season it's going to be next season. Back in the Champions League. Alonso sticking around. But should he have jumped when his stock was high? We'll see about that. Set 27 times they have played each other since 2008. 17 wins for Leverkusen, 3 wins for Augsburg, 7 draws, of course. Leverkusen, 75% form for them right now. Unbeaten throughout the season. Phenomenal stuff. Up against the Augsburg side, 5 defeats to the last 6. The season was a month longer. They could be in a relegation scrap. Of course, 5 defeats to the last 6. 17% form for them at the moment. Last time around, over at Leverkusen, it was a 2-1 win for Augsburg back in August 2022. The reverse fixture in Augsburg back in January was a 1-0 win for Leverkusen. Augsburg have actually won 2 of the last 3 against Leverkusen, and I'll fancy the chances in this one, perhaps. 7 because it's been a long old season for Leverkusen. 7-2 on is your Leverkusen. 5-1, of course, is your 5-1 is your draw. 7-1 is your long shots. That's Augsburg. The bookies will back Leverkusen. So will I. 3-0 win for them. They'll go unbeaten, and that'll be an absolutely fantastic stuff for them as they look forward to a busy end of the season with cup competitions galore for Leverkusen. And then it's Dortmund, it's Darmstadt, of course, coming at you over at Signal Iduna Park. Of course, the cherry or the final hurdle before a monster performance for Dortmund. Of course, Champions League final awaits, but they've got a bit of business to take care of here. They'll probably play a bit of a rotated squad here, give Darmstadt something to maybe cling on to for next season. So I anticipate Dortmund resting a lot of key individuals. They don't want to get anybody hurt here because they need all their best players at tip-top form for the final against Real Madrid. 5 times they've played each other since 2015. 3 wins for Dortmund, 1 win for Darmstadt, 1 draw so far. Of course, Dortmund, 58% form for them right now. They do come into this on the back of a defeat. Darmstadt, though, just 1 win in the last 6, 17% form for them right now. They will be playing in the second tier next season. Last time around, though, over at Dortmund, it was a 6-0 win for them back in September 2016. The reverse fixture in Darmstadt was a 3-0 win for Dortmund back in January. The odds for this one, the bookies will still go for Dortmund no matter what team they play. 11-2 on for the victory. They are favoured here. 7-1 is the draw. 10-1 is your long shots. That is, of course, Darmstadt. Of course, we're going to say goodbye to them here, but they'll also go away with a defeat. No matter who shows up here for Dortmund, I feel will be a second string side, a team to just to get through the wars, and then of course they'll regroup to go ahead for that Champions League final. So that's the situation there. Of course, the table looks a little bit like this, guys. Leverkusen will remain top of the chops here, 15 points clear over Bayern, who gets that second spot ahead of Stuttgart, who had a fantastic season themselves. Leipzig and Dortmund will be in the Champions League next season. Going down, though, Darmstadt and Köln, goodness gracious me, with Union Berlin having to do it all again in the playoffs. Goodness gracious me. That, my friends, is what I've got for you. Make sure you smash your subscribe, smash the like, smash your thumbs up. We'll see you soon, very, very soon, for the next round of games in the German Bundesliga, whenever that is. But until then, guys, hope you enjoyed the show. Smash your subscribe. I'll see you soon for the next.